Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our lower bracket finals to figure out who out of this best of three is going to join Optic Gaming in the finals for the money, but more importantly, with that coveted spot into the major qualifier. Mega Man and Sprawl bringing the action. Dust 2 to start things off.
Right. Home of Counter-Strike in some respects, and here we go. I'm very excited to get this going. Of course, the next matchup for the money, but this is the very important one, getting that second qualifier spot. That's exactly what you came here for. So here we go, moving right into it. Tempo Storm versus Team Solomid. Tempo Storm on the CT side to start.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the map pick here for TSM. We're going to see how they throw down on this map. And again, we're going to see very aggressive push to start things off here from TSM. Up on Catwalk, you've got Phelps hiding in the smoke. They're going to run right by. This is a ninja play. Bolt's going to find one. Phelps circles back around and takes down Sick. Stealthy as he ever was. FNS is going to be able to find the trade there onto Phelps, so it's at least come down to a 2 versus 4 as Bolt's immediately answers back onto Automatic. He's got 2 on the round as well.
Yeah, Bolt's looking good thus far. Phelps maybe wanted a little bit more. Took Semphis down to 2 hit points, as you can see, but still very low as one of the TSM players. Vanessa's Molotov might be able to clear out the center of the site. That's exactly what he's going to go for. Bolt's pushed out in the open, but he falls back towards Goose. So still, Tempo Storm in an excellent situation here. Henny spots Finesse drop into CT spawn, and Bolt's with a triple kill. Henny, that's actually going to be Lucas to find the final frag. So Tempo Storm only losing a single member, and they dealt with that catwalk play very nicely. That smoke play from Phelps, although got him 1 frag and a lot of damage on another, it set up Bolts in a way that there's kind of 2 engagements going on there. In that Bolts, he's able to hit a headshot as the first player goes through the smoke, and then the second one goes down to Phelps, and again, it just falls apart from there.
Yeah, and the main course of that was just the fact that it was chaos at that point. It just slowed that push on Catwalk down so much. And another thing that I liked as well, when it was in that 2v4, and Bolts spotted those players when he was moving back to Goose on top A, you immediately saw both Lucas and I think it was Showtime who were left alive push through the mid double doors, and they were able to just shut things down from there, come back out and get that final kill. Exchange of frags going on here. Henny does find one before he goes down. Automatic and Semphis are off the board. Phelps, UMP trying to get a little extra ching in the bank, and Showtime's going to find one. Lucas around from the lower B tunnels. It could be a team ace, and it is a team ace. So everybody contributing their own weight into this one, and Bolts 1 HP to survive that one, but he survives.
Indeed. So good news for that financial situation of Tempo. And moving into this next round, Sek did hit a very nice shot onto Henny there, but again, that was pretty much the extent of the success. TSM, they bought into that round, being there was no bomb planned in the first, and they will be more or less full eco here. Twist has a flash. Looks like they're just going to barrel out long A, and they only have 1 person to deal with here, that's Bolts. Maybe if they can find power numbers, I don't know if it's going to work out. Showtime is already sprinted up middle. There's no call. Sick is not looking behind himself. And, well, this is not looking, actually, they turned it back a little bit. Semphis and Automatic finding a little bit of action, but in the end, it will be Tempo keeping 3 alive and another round for them.
Yeah, and again, they're on the money farm there, too. Showtime just barreling up mid, MP9. He's going to find a couple. And it looks like they're just going to launch immediately into a double-op setup here on the CT side, and that's what they're going to do. Now, we saw how successful this was on Cash yesterday when they played against Selfless. Should be extremely important. And, yeah, like you said, I mean, where's the comms? Where's the comms?
Those are the 2 young guns. So, again, I'm wondering if that was just lack of communication or just I'm uncertain.
Well, the other aspect, too, is when we were talking in the green room, there was some chatter in the players' lounge that Twist wasn't calming as much as he should be calming. So that might just be one of those breakdowns in communication. But here we go into the first gun round. We do have a mid-play coming out here from the terrorist side. It's going to be very interesting. Showtime's going to have to come up big here. He's actually right by the door. If they push that smoke, he could go down. But it's going to be Henny from CT, I believe, to find that opening pick. And look at this crossfire. They've got one playing from Car on the backside by that cubby, and then they've got Lucas covering. Lucas does spray down too, but he's still alive here in the back lines. He's just going to throw a little spam. Gets a third. Sick going to be your last man standing. It's just down to him. Does have the bomb in 1 minute and 5 to work with, but he's going to push on through, trying to find those kills. But Bolts takes him down, survives again with a very small amount of health, but he does survive, and that's going to be 4-0 now for Tempo Storm. First gun round in their favor. No bomb plant, no extra joy.
That was one of the quickest mid to B executes that I've honestly ever seen.
They were outdoors real fast.
That was that was almost like, okay, guys, let's eco kind of like work a mid to B, and you just kind of flood players into lower and just break out. But I like that kind of pacing from TSM. It doesn't work out, but it's something that maybe Tempo, they wouldn't expect that kind of quick play, as there's usually a lot of jockeying back towards Cat and middle. But moving into this next round, we'll have some equipment on TSM, but of course, much better equipment on the CT side. Henny and Showtime rocking that double op.
A lot of smokes and a lot of flashes here for Team Solomid. Every single player picked up at least a smoke and one flash. You can see that actually Simphis has 2 flashes, FNS has 2 flashes. And this is the situation where you've invested into this round, albeit you only have body armor. But again, I mean, you're competing against an AK, 2 AWPs. You already know that they've got the double op set up. The other 2 are going to be Lucas and Phelps on the M4 rifles. So really, I mean, it's going to be this barrel in towards A. They're going to probably smoke out down into mid to B. They're probably going to smoke all the way deep on top of A. They're going to smoke CT spawn. They're going to jump one down. That's going to be FNS to go down there. But Henny hits a nice shot. Looking for a second. Another nice shot from Henny. Looking for a third, and he gets it up to the A platform onto Sick. And now all of a sudden, it's just down to Automatic. Did they even use all of their utility?
Automatic does find 2, but without the bomb here, well, there's not a lot going for him other than he does have this AWP. So I imagine at this point, probably just going to save. But yeah, Henny hitting some nice shots as they're coming out on Catwalk, and TSM just not able to make anything work in this round, and it looks like Automatic not going to keep that up any longer. So 5-0 here, and if take a look at the economy of the CT side, it's getting to a scary level at this point. So TSM, they can't allow for really any more success. This is a fairly even map. Like they were saying on the desk, it really is going to come down to pistol rounds in some regards.
These shots from Henny.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here.
I mean, he just locks it down. And this is what you would expect to see on a gun round as well. From Terra's side that's pushing through a smoke and an upper at the A bomb site. You see Guardian do it, you see Skadoodle do it, and Henny is no exception to the rule on that at all either. And curious enough, I was actually talking to some of the guys earlier on about, you know, Henny had a little bit of a lackluster. I was talking to LG Dead, that Henny had a bit of a lackluster performance yesterday in the BO3 against Optic. He's 7-1 to start this one off, so he's firing on all cylinders right now. Bolts, again, they said that he didn't perform as well as he normally does. He's 6-1. I mean, it's 7-6-5-4-3 on the kills. So Henny, Bolts, Lucas, Phelps, Showtime. So right down the way. But, I mean, adversely, you've got 8 kills total for all of Team Solomid.
Yeah, not a good look moving into this sixth
Twist,
round.
Who's been super impactful for him, yet to get on the board.
Speaking of Twist.
There you go. Yep.
He's already very low, and
joy.
Lucas just blows him up inside of upper tunnels. And TSM, look at how much map control is given to Tempo here, as they've got Phelps in upper middle, takes down Automatic, and now they are trapped inside of tunnels. Granted, they don't have complete intel on Catwalk, but still, they can kind of take the risk here as Lucas able to find Finesse, and that's just more intel. If there's another player inside of upper, I imagine that they are committing over here. So 2v5, again, TSM fragless in this round.
Yeah, and Phelps, I mean, he continues to prowl. He's going to find one more. Simphis all the way at the back of T-Spawn. For their map pick, Team Solomid looked very disheveled, very disorganized, and they're not even going to get the opportunity to save anything out of this. 5 alive, and there's a little bit of land trash talk. Now, granted, I have no idea what they're saying.
Right.
I'm sure that somebody out there in Twitter space can translate that, but he probably said something like, I like your haircut, you're a really nice individual,
right?
But I'm just doing better
you smell
than you
great today.
At counter forces right now. So
yeah, it's indeed the case. So yeah, I think you guys should be able to hear that over our mics. Tempo's making a lot of noise at this point, and TSM, I can kind of glance over their shoulders, and they're not looking too happy at the moment. So yeah. And of course, anytime that they're talking after a round, they're trying to talk about what just happened, they are getting yelling from the other side, of course, as well. So see Henny miss a shot towards middle. Looks to be another middle to be set up, this time with the bomb towards mid. And they lose their upper tunnel's presence already. The smoke's down. Henny finds another one, eventually falls. Lucas is there, though, and he's able to spray down another one. Finesse in a 1v4. Not looking good.
Whew, not at all. And that's actually, I don't want to say that it's a gamble play from Tempo Storm at all. They had both of the ops on the B side of the map. They had the one playing close mid, double doors, that was Henny. And then they also had Showtime playing close on the long, or on the B tunnels. That allowed Lucas to play like an Uber support role right there, because he could bounce back and forth. If either one of those two players came under fire, he could put himself into a position to trade those kills. And that's exactly what you saw happen, where Henny gets the opening pick. Well, Showtime actually gets the opening pick in B. Henny gets the return frag up in the bottom side of middle, and then Lucas is just floating back and forth between these guys. Henny goes down, Lucas is able to spin, find 1 kill, and then buy enough time for his teammates to close things down. And here you go. I mean, Lucas, he's on a tear right now. The twin brothers have a combined total of 19 and 4 so far in this map.
I'm disappointed from what I'm seeing in this round at the moment, as we've got kind of like a 2-2 setup already, automatic peeked into B, trying to find an entry, but just want to see something a little bit more creative other than just trying to find a long-distance dig that's going to find.
Did he even have a dig, or did he have a Tech 9? I thought he had a Tech 9.
Oh, maybe I'm mistaken. That makes it even risky. Yeah, that makes it even crazier. I just assumed he would have a deagle.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a good look early. It's going to be a 4-on-5. Make it a 3-on-5 as Phelps tapping away here. Finesse, able to find 1, but both spamming away. Will eventually fall to 6, but looks like that'll be the end of the madness here as Tempo yet to drop a round.
And I'm sure Kevin can pull this up on the scoreboard as well and take a look at how many players have been alive throughout all of these rounds for Tempo Storm. These rounds have not really even been all that close throughout this.
Yeah.
I mean, it has been pretty much a slaughter the whole way through. And like I said, I mean, you look at how many kills they have on the TSM side. Again, Twist yet to get on the board. Simphis has 2. FNS has 2. So, I mean, they're still sitting at 11 kills 8 rounds in. That is not going to cut it. And we talked about the importance of that the other day, yesterday, when we were going through the Selfless matchup when they played against Tempo Storm. Is that, Tempo Storm doesn't give away careless deaths, it doesn't seem like. Yeah. Or if they do, it's because they're pushing for information. Then they get the information, they're able to trade back into the round.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, I have yet to see Tempo Storm, or, pardon me, Team Solomid positively trade in any of these situations. It seems it's going 2-1 or 3-2 in the favor of Tempo Storm, round in and round out.
See Phelps playing behind the smoke on catwalk. TSM just posturing in middle. Nothing too crazy going on at the moment, as do have quite a bit of utility to work with. You got Semphis with that AWP. They have everything that they should require to potentially get on the board here, but Tempo, are they going to let up at all, as we'll see. Again, this is a standard kind of T-side round where you'll group up towards catwalk, throw a fake towards cat if you want, and work a mid to B. To be fair, considering they have automatic towards long, I think that it'll be the opposite. They might work towards this A bomb site.
I like this A setup that they have going on here from Tempo Storm. Henny down watching long, waiting for the lurk to come out. Bolts in CT spawn, waiting for the smoke and the jump down. And then they've just got Phelps playing the bait and switch up there.
Bolts.
There you go. That's exactly what I was talking about. They try to lurk FNS down into CT spawn again, and Bolts is just going to completely shut him down. And now they got to worry about Goose. Bolts finds another. Henny's going to get there in the action as well. And now Semphis is a sitting duck for Phelps at Goose. That was a beautiful setup from Tempo Storm. I'm sure that's probably something that James and Garrett are going to end up talking about, because that was just a perfect counter for that strategy. And they know that the last time that they went catwalk, they've gone for that same play. Even on the eco round, even on the first gun round, they did the same style of play where they smoke CT, they smoke the cross at A, and then they lurk a player down into CT spawn to try to disrupt that area. And Bolts just counters that wholeheartedly from that position, actually getting 2 before he goes down. And that just creates this chaotic vortex up there where these players can continue to swing on the CT side and find success.
Yeah, and even Henny was smoked off, but he dropped a Molotov right where they were coming out. Just brilliant play as Finesse able to find an entry. So 4-on-5. We'll see if TSM can convert off of this advantage. Really important that they do so at this point, as they are very far behind on their map choice. And interesting. We'll see if any
That was
advantage.
like a headshot angle too, right?
Yeah,
down the
exactly.
pit.
I'm wondering if either player will take advantage. Henny is trying to peer off of it, but not going to find anyone at the moment. So again, Tempo down a player. We'll see if TSM can make something work here as they're posturing again towards middle. They still have 2 players posted out long. So I would imagine it's going to be another A-side play, but even with 4 members, Tempo, it's going to be very scary.
This is one of the things where you see like Tempo Storm recover in rounds like this. They've evacuated the B bomb site. They've left Showtime by himself over there, and now Bolts coming around from mid. He's not going to clear this angle into lower, but he's not making any noise either. He actually gets up on catwalk. This is terrifying.
Sick
he
had
drops
no
the bomb.
idea.
Sick had no idea.
That is
Sick
so
gets the kill on
unfortunate.
Showtime, but it's still getting traded back. But Bolts is now in a position where he can win this round. 30 seconds. He has bomb control. Sick is almost dead. Now he is. 19 HP left for him, and there's no nades for FNS and Simphis to flush this out. Bolt's going to go for the spray, and there you go. They at least do get the round out of that, but that was a huge mistake from Sick. He was looking for that flank to come out from lower B, and you can see he looks a little bit confused right now as to what the hell happened because his teammates are going, well, where'd that guy come from on Cat?
Yeah, interesting stuff there, certainly. Luckily for TSM, they're able to take the round, but look at this buy. We got a Scar 20 on the field. We got 2 ops. And this is one of the maps where you can get away with these kind of scoped rifles. We're going to see Lucas with that Scar 20. He's going to hold down B, and that's just brilliant spot to put that weaponry. Whether he goes towards back plat or what have you. Doesn't make too much of a difference, but we'll see if he gets any attention. TSM. We've got the bomb working down Suicide. It's actually Semphis hanging on to that. Showtime peeking towards middle. Nade comes his way, and we'll push him off, but early in the round, TSM just very standard situation in that they've got that mid control. Twist is actually hoping someone gets aggressive into upper tunnels. I don't know if he is going to have any kind of luck there. I believe Twist actually found, look at the scoreboard for the moment. I think that was his first. Okay, he got 2. Yep. Okay, yeah. So that was him getting on the board. Maybe he can build off of that.
The big thing right now is this scope setup. Semphis hit the Showtime just saw the barrel of the gun. He walks right into that.
Showtime.
That's unfortunate. That smoke comes out. Henny's going to hit the cat shot as well. So again, I mean, these scoped rifles going to work right here. I mean, Showtime, granted, he is 6-4. Automatic and Sick do answer back though, so they're going to be able to open up a little bit of map control here for the terrorist side of TSM. But again, it's a long ways for him to go. Pop flash out towards long A off of Henny. He's going to clear that angle and actually push down on long. This is the smart play since he's lonely over here at A. So he's going to take back over towards long control. Can't find the shot on automatic. He used that one-way smoke down there at long. So they've swung it back into their favor here on the terrorist side. And now Showtime's got to be careful because he's got a player right around the corner. Oh, if he would have hit that jumping no-scope, that would have been dope. But unfortunately, he's not going to be able to make that happen.
So Lucas.
Auto sniper time. Time to shine.
He's going to try and retake with the Scar 20. Not exactly the easiest weapon to retake with. And yeah, I think he's just going to give it up here. So saving that weapon into the next, it's very, very, very expensive. So I like to see that's the case. But TSM, if they drop that round, they only survive with 2 in the last. They have no economy, tempo, continue their dominance, and TSM really has no foothold in the map at all. They'll string 2 in a row, and maybe they can at least get 6 off of this, but that requires flawless rest of the half.
Yeah, and that's the big thing about this right here is they do have to be flawless for the rest of the half. I mean, it's 9-2. There's still plenty of rounds left. I mean, 4 more rounds left to play. They salvaged the auto sniper. They've got plenty of money here on Tempo Storm's side to buy. So they're going to, instead of going into the double up setup, they're going to put a rifle onto Showtime. Just going to have the M4 into this round, and hopefully he can make it work a little bit better. Phelps picking up the UMP. We see him do this.
He has enough for an M4 as well. He's got 43.
Oh, he went for utility. He picked up the incendiary grenade. That's $600, $300.
But he still has 4,300 though. Like he could have. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. He does.
Yeah. So I don't. Maybe he just prefers it today.
I'll be damned. Maybe he wants to go for an aggressive play. That's beautiful stuff.
No.
Oh, nice shot, though, returning from Twist. And now they're going to speed up behind this in towards B. Showtime's going to hightail it out of here. Oh, my. Oh,
he's like, I heard something.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I know what happened there. Automatic down to 10 HP from that spam. Now automatic off the map. It's only 10 damage from that off from Henny. But again, I mean, that's just a brilliant little bit of spam going on there. And again, Showtime trying to throw a little bit more spam through. He actually gets gooshed through the box outside by Xbox, outside of the B-bomb site. But it's going to be a 4-on-3 now, 3-on-3 retake. Sick picking up an AWP as well. So interesting little revamp of passing around all the guns. But they've gotten into the B-bomb site now. Bolts finds one. They're going to spot one over here by Carr. FNS is going to get in on the action, but Bolts trades him. And Bolts finishes it off. All 3 kills in the B-bomb site go the way of Bolts. And that's going to be a 10-2 scoreline now.
So Window was smoked there, but it looked like the angle that the T was playing, watching towards Window, was actually... They could only see them after they had actually dropped, and they would take it a duel.
From Tunnels that was watching it with an off?
No, it was. I believe it was. I didn't mention the name because I don't remember who it was, to be honest with you. But he was towards not big box, but kind of towards that closet that's right near it. Anyhow, nonetheless, he wasn't actually watching as they were flooding through the smoke. And of course, if you're dropping a smoke there, that's the advantage you have. You can see them before they're coming out. So they were able to drop and then take these fights, and eventually Tempo able to make it work. And look at this aggression into upper tunnels. TSM look to be primed to hold on to this control, but Twist, what a shot as he takes down Showtime. Lucas falls to sick, and, well, it's going to be a 5-on-3 early.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mistake there. Tempo Storm trying to switch up the pace, and I like that call, but a little bit risky. I mean, you've got an 8-round lead right now. There's no real – I mean, what you're doing is already working. It's not that necessary for you to switch things up. However, if Phelps can come up huge here at long A, where he's going to get an opportunity – and unfortunately doesn't. Yeah, Semphis hits a nice shot there, takes him down. Now they've pretty much got full map control. It's going to have to be Bolts coming up huge. Switches over to the USP. He gets 2, but now it's Henny over here towards mid to try to lock things down. Oh, they dropped the – oh, no.
That is not a good throw. That was an underhand, not an overhand.
Not
and
a
Henny
good throw at all.
Takes down Sick. Now 45 seconds as he's going to hop up onto Xbox here.
Oh, if he goes down long, this is going to be lethal. He's only going to have to deal with Twist over here. Twist might get close enough to hear something. He picks up an op, too. And Twist, he's not bad with an op, but Henny's going to know to check this pit angle right off the bat. Oh, he dinked him with the USP, too. Imagine if he had the op out.
So Twist able to find Henny there. And DSM, if they can find 5 here and they can take pistol, we've seen this kind of scoreline before where you get through pistol round, the 2 thereafter, and even the first rifle round, and maybe they can bring it back, but in my eyes, they need to complete these last 2 rounds, have the kind of late half momentum, if you will.
Well, they've broken Tempo Storm, so they're going to at least have to save for last. Now they just need to not lose to this eco.
Yeah.
Obviously. But really, I mean, this is Tempo Storm. Again, we talk about money management. We talk about controlling the economy throughout the half, and that's exactly what Tempo Storm has done. They haven't had to save. This is the first time we've seen them save the entirety of this half, and they almost start off with a kill. Started out as well. 90 damage onto automatic from that Mag 7.
Not going to find the frag, but at least the damage comes in. See if Tempo can find something with the upgraded pistols, but certainly TSM favor them to take this situation as they're playing very, very slow, and I like that is the idea moving into this anti-eco, and they're very together as well. Bit of some duos going on towards middle and upper tunnels. So just making certain that they don't fall victim to any crazy close range angles. Finesse, this is one of the ones that you need to be worried about as he creeps through the doors. No one home. And they will smoke mid to B as they head up towards that B-bomb site.
Showtime's going to have to come up huge with the 5-7. Semphis double checks it. Oh, and automatic just destroys Lucas. So that's going to be B control taken here from Tempo Storm as Team Solomid get that bomb planted. Mag 7 in the hands of Bolts. Going to go for the long range Deagle. Does manage to find one. Finds a second one. So they're at least going to make it a little bit expensive here. Now Twist has to be careful trying to take this long range fight with Bolts because Bolts has the hot hand in the game right now at 19-6. Everybody on TSM yet to hit double digits, but they will get a 4th round on the board, which is the most important part about this. They need to just start grinding rounds back. Twist does eventually take the fight with Henny, takes him down, so it'll be 10-4. But one more opportunity for Tempo Storm to extend their lead going into the second half. It does too, and that's the crucial part about it. Team Solomid need a 5th round here.
Certainly do. As Bolts looks to keep this Mag 7 in play, and Deagle it looks like, and again, moving into the last round of the first half, has been a very dominant CT side performance from the Tempo Storm side. But again, like we've highlighted, maybe if TSM, again, they've got to gain that late half momentum. If they can secure this last round, take pistol, who knows what's in store for them. But Tempo looking strong and fired up early as Mag 7 is made useful. It's dropped over to Lucas, and you can see that they buy down to nothing. They get all the utility, and it is very important that they save that mag. So here we go. TSM, can they complete much needed round here as Tempo, nothing too aggressive from them. Phelps, like this boost up on a blue bin.
Yeah, again, I mean, they're changing their setup here. They're being dynamic on the CT side, and that's really important. Not to have a static CT side. Throw, you know, like I said, Bolts playing down, watching for the drop into CT spawn with I think it was Phelps playing up there in Goose. So they're changing their setups on the CT side, which I like to be dynamic. The last time, I mean, in the last gun round, they got aggressive in towards the B halls. Didn't really care for that play. I do like that you're probing for information and everything like that, but now they're playing like this bait and switch on B with Showtime with the FAMAS watching this off angle and Lucas just hiding in the corner. which is nice. But again, it looks like it's going to be another hit up towards the A bomb site. And again, they drop a player down into CT spawn, but it's going to be this mid-B split, and they've lost the bomb already.
Yeah, not looking too good here. Sick finds showtime, but that will look to be the extent of their success. Automatic can't get anything done, and 11-4. I think the idea was kind of an interesting mid to B split with that CT spawn player trying to maybe backstab or something. Players in CT spawn, but it doesn't pan out in tempo. 11 rounds moving into the T side of Dust 2. Again, I'm trying not to count TSM out of this. I'm trying to look at avenues that they can bring it back, but the fact of the matter is it's a fairly 50-50 map, and 11-4 is just not something that we see as a standard. So, and being that this is not Tempo's map choice, that's a terrifying thing.
And that's the big thing about it right here, too, is the fact that if Tempo Storm wins this map, it's basically exactly what Garrett and James were saying, that it's going to, more than likely, I mean, it's like 99% certain that it's going to be a 2-0, because we've seen how strong they are on Cobblestone. The only issue with that is that Optic was able to counter-strat the living crap out of them on Cobblestone last night. And if TSM was reviewing any demos or watched what Optic was doing in that match, then they should also be able to have a bit of a chance into that map. But you got to think it's a home map for Tempo Storm. It's going to be it's just going to be an uphill battle from here on out from Team Solomid. I think personally in this tournament, I mean, Simphis has actually said they've done more than what they wanted to accomplish coming in here. And seeing Twist and Sick play on LAN has been absolutely eye-opening, man. It's so great to see some of these young kids get a chance to play at a high level and get the experience and everything like that. So hopefully they continue to do well. We're going to take a look at a couple of replays here. This was a B hold by Lucas. Gets 3 out of this before he finally gets traded out, which was a massive hold. Left Sick all by himself. This is Henny on an anti-eco round. Hits a couple of nice little snapshots here with the AWP as Bolts cleans up a couple in CT spawn. So just a nice all-around pace from Tempo Storm on the defense of this A bomb site as well as B. And just across the map, they were very, very strong.
Yeah, and just to go into a little bit of history about Sick, and that I saw this guy kind of burst onto the scene with a team called Ignite, if you guys are aware of that at all. And they were a team that is just all these young guns, and I think at the time it was like Vice, Sick, Reki. I'm struggling to remember the rest of them, but nonetheless, they came onto the scene and they were so good. I think when they went to Mortality, I think that was where it came in. But even before that Mortality org came into the picture, there was a team that they were so good, but it was so puggy in a way that players at the top level are like, I don't know if these guys are legit. Like, they haven't showed up to LAN, and it's just fascinating to see how far we've gone. Sick now on this TSM lineup, and we've seen him with quite the incredible performance. This guy's the real deal. Yeah,
there was a lot of skepticism around Sick as to if he could perform on LAN, and if picking him up for he was originally trying out for Complexity, and then he got picked up by TSM, and it was like, well, you're picking up this question mark, this player that has absolutely no LAN experience whatsoever. He's young. He hasn't really played at a high competitive level. You're taking a huge risk with this. And I think Team Solomid, with the nurturing of their veterans in FNS and Simphis and Automatic, they can mold this kid into an all-star player, and he's going to end up being very, very good. Same thing with Twist.
So here we go, pistol round, Tempo Storm. Look at this angle here from Sick as he's playing towards the back of the platform. 2 frags, 3 as he gets Lucas midair. And this is the pistol round that we highlighted Team Solomid desperately require, but it'll be a 2-on-3 as the bomb's going down.
He's nuts. The kid, we were just talking about him. He's absolutely insane. Beautiful stuff from him, tapping away all of his cares with that silent USP, and now it's going to be this 2-on-3 hold, but 2 of the 3 are actually coming from tunnels right now. Simphis is going to hold this angle right now, and also Twist coming around from the back lines. They're going to have to go big, and he's going to be able to find the opener, but there's Twist coming around from the double doors. They know exactly where Bolts is. He's got to come up massive, finds the first. He's on 3 frags. The reload comes in from Simphis. He's running out of time. He's got no kit. Is he going to have time? It's going to be close.
I think he might just barely have it here. Again, that bomb timer a little bit longer than it used to be, and I think that's actually going to be the difference maker.
Doesn't have it.
Oh my goodness.
Tempo Storm, there you go. We knew it was going to be close, but Bolts delays just long enough that he's able to get that round win in 12-4. Tempo Storm, they're going to have an opportunity to get up to about 14 before we see a big buy come in here from Team Solomid.
And look at this from Sick.
It
that
feels
angle
so
is
bad, you get 3 kills and you lose the round.
Right? Like, as a B bomb site defender, if you can get 3 every time they come into your bomb site, you are doing your job +1, more or less.
That 3rd kill was nuts, too. The player jumping up onto the back plat. Yeah, that was sick.
Ha! Haha.
Yeah, I didn't even.
Sick and twisted as we see Phelps able to take down. Speaking of twist, gonna be Semphis up on the A platform. Automatic on a Showtime. Finesse firing as well. It'll be a 2-on-3. 6 trying to hold on to the cross here. He will get aggressive. Lucas with a nice flick with the Galil. And now it's Finesse picking up that UMP, but he can't find anything. Lucas with the Galil yet again. So looks like this could be a quick one here on Dust 2.
Pretty decent money farm going on there from the terrorist side as well. They're probably expecting a buy into this round from Team Solomid, and they're going to get that. So you can see they actually upgraded rifles into this round with the exception of Henny, who, you know, if they soften him up with the rifles, Henny can finish him off with the MP7 or vice versa. He can soften him up and then they can finish him off. And he is going to go fast out long.
Oh! Damn.
I heard that one from a mile away. That one, yeah, that was a ripper right there. Nice shot from Sick to start things off, give him a man advantage into this round.
Was quite the shot indeed as Semphis taking some damage towards long. Tempo, they're going to have Phelps push out and twist. You didn't expect he would be towards pit. Phelps falls, and there's no real refrag opportunity there for the Tempo side. So moving now to a 3-on-5. And 6 still battling towards middle here. And I can't believe he hit that shot through the door towards that suicide lane. Just insane stuff. Bolt's not going to be too happy about that, but still have plenty of time here on this T side.
Well, Bolts is 23, 4, and 8 right now. I think he's happy enough.
Oh, I'm sure. It's just
won't be happy
one of
until
those
they get that
tilting
check
frags.
at the end of the day.
You're just like, wait, what? I'm gone? Okay, I'm gone.
Yeah, and well, it's one of the things that we've talked about before, how Bolts is super strong when it's on the CT side of the maps, and he's also extremely strong in post-plant positioning because then you're also, you know, you're defending the bomb site. It's like you're reversing your role.
Yep.
And execution-wise, he's not the strongest player out there, but I still consider him to be the best player on this Tempo Storm roster. You've heard Thorin talk about it in the past, about how he's just like this guy that he got cut from one of the teams that's gone on to be the best team in the world, and has just done huge things since then. Now we see they push in towards the A bomb site. Semphis might catch the back of one if he does decide to peek. But no, Henny going to find 2, and it's down to Showtime now. He's going to be able to find one more. He does have the bomb. Going to go for the plant. No, Sick is trying to get the jump scout action going, but he's going to throw away his life. He gives him the 1v1 instead of waiting for his teammate. A little bit of inexperience coming out. And now Automatic, he might have heard him drop down, but see, he fired that bullet to cover his footsteps.
Yeah, look at this.
Common practice back in the 1.6 days, but he's going to peek out, and he does clip the head of Showtime and take him down, so balance is restored to the order. And another round on the board here for Team Solomid. A little scary there, though. Sick with a little bit of a misplay, I feel.
Yeah, he shows up, and of course that spot, we see jump scouts, we see jump ops, we see a lot of things there, and he's trying to just take it into his own hands, but this is so difficult. TSM, they survive. Yeah, they win the round, but surviving with 1 is just it's not a fun spot financially.
Yeah, and you gotta be sure that they're gonna be buying behind this on the Tempo Storm side. Even though Phelps only had like $2,400 or $2,600, everybody else was up over 4K, if not 5K. So that's, I mean, this is gonna be a really tough buy for Tempo Storm to go against because they have actually less utility and less firepower into this round than they did in the last. UMP on Semphis. Oh, missed Molly at long, though, by Tempo Storm, so that's not that big of a deal, though. They've already gotten long control. Going to be pushing on forward now, and this is actually kind of picking up the pace from the Tempo Storm side.
So TSM, they give up long. Eventually, Finesse is going to try and hold on, but from that spot, I don't like how vulnerable he is. He kind of peers over the smoke, but immediately dealt with as now it's a 4-on-3 automatic, taking some damage, but he'll flash through the smoke, and he will white screen some players, but Bolt's able to take him down. So it's Sick and Semphis, and now it's only Semphis. He falls to Lucas. So Tempo, they lose a round, bring it right back in the next, and surviving with 1 means there is no economy. Look at this for TSM.
This, in a normal situation, this would be a double save scenario for TSM. They're going to force into this round. Sick's going to get the scout. They're going to upgrade some pistols and pick up some armor, but that was just so blisteringly painful for TSM. And in the worst possible way. It's like you said, they won the 1 round. They only had the 1 player alive in Automatic. Last round, obviously, they lose that, and that is as hard of a reset as you can possibly have. I mean, that is absolutely brutal. The only harder way would be, I don't know, you pull a Summit 1G and clutch a 1v, or you lose a 1v0, and they have no guns into the next round.
Right, exactly. No doubt, as we got a 4-on-4. And Bolts is actually already inside of the B bomb site. That is
boy,
quite interesting. Going to spot some players out in CT spawn as well as outside of the B doors. Goes down to Sick, but It's a lot of attention being grabbed towards B as it looks like the rest of the players going towards long aim. And again,
That could have
Phelps
been
already has
so much
positioning.
worse.
Oh yeah, exactly. Bolt's really...
They were all lined up for him down in CT.
We didn't catch it on the stream there, I don't think, but yeah, he did have quite the opportunity. Sick gonna fall, and Tempo Storm, they are now 15 rounds into this, or 15 on their scorecard, that is, and again, TSM only on 5. 10 rounds to bring it to OT.
And, I mean, again, you know, we were talking about Henny not really showing up yesterday. He's got 21 kills into this match. Bolts kind of was a little bit quiet on Cobblestone yesterday, a map that he's usually very good at taking over. And he's sitting at 26 kills right now, so it's really nice to see these guys stepping up and bringing it back. And Henny actually finds Sick on a pick and mid. They got to clear out this pit player and Twist. They got to find FNS as well. And a nice little bait and switch going on here in the long A corridor. Back and forth, and Twist trying to stay alive for the time being. He does have a teammate that's over here by CT, but he's stuck behind the smoke, which is going to fade. He's got 2 players that are right behind it. And this one's pretty much over unless Automatic can do something exemplary with this scout. He's going to throw out a fake flash. Actually, not a fake flash.
There's certainly a real one as well.
Oh, they're so low, though.
Yeah, that's one shot. Actually, I like the CZ75 switch, considering they're both tagged up. We'll give him a good shot, but it looks like he's going to rotate out here, and this is a round where Automatic, this is a clutchable situation. Tempo, they recognize how much time they have, and they're going to work slowly up long. But yeah, Automatic,
this is a great play.
He's going to be able to backstab here. He's looking to pick up an AK, as again, they're both low. He spots both.
This is a great play.
Automatic. Nice work from him. Keeps the dream alive.
Oh, my God. That was such a nutty play from Automatic. He read that situation perfectly, and just Tempo Storm get caught going a little bit too slow in that situation. They know that he's got a scout. They know that they're both low. They don't want to give him an opportunity to pick him on the cross, so they go extremely slow. They think that he might be coming around from Catwalk side, but Automatic just plays that perfectly. That was unbelievable. It's shades of E.G. Che on Inferno back in the day for those old school members in the audience that remember that one. So get your nostalgic caps on.
Pushing out long, Tempo. They found a frag already, and we'll see if this is going to be the round. Not like this, TSM, as that's going to be another one. Phelps is continuing. He's got 2 for himself. Showtime with 1. And Automatic, yeah, he went big in the last round, but going to need to go even bigger with Sick here as he taps away onto Henny. That was a beautiful shot. And he does have decent utility, smoke flash and a Molotov. Sick is going to be coming up towards long. If he can win the duel versus Lucas, it might be enough for them to come out, but no, Lucas taking down Sick. It's now only Automatic. And a 1v4, it's just not looking likely. He doesn't have a kit. Time is of the essence. Phelps gets him as he dives down into CT spawn, and yeah, he was hopping when he got that one. So 16-6. Tempo Storm dominant on the TSM map choice.
That one hurts too if you're TSM, because you know now you're going into Cobblestone, which even though it's a map that you enjoy or a map that you favor in your map pool, it's just one of those ones where it's like, all right, it's still Tempo Storm's favorite and best map that they have to work with. It's just a scary situation for TSM going into this one. If they wanted to win this series, it would have had to have been a 2-1, I feel, on Dust 2 and then Cash, because their caches looked relatively strong throughout this, but then again, Tempo Storm's caches also looked pretty strong.
Yeah.
And, you know, we talk about the veto process and everything like that, and this was just, this veto favored Tempo Storm, I think, the whole way through. So now you got to be thinking this is going to be a 2-0 instead of a 2-1. So, yeah, you know, it's just one of those kind of things.
Yeah, it's a hard situation to see TSM bring it back from. Maybe if they can have a short memory, bring it into Cobblestone, but you just got to paint a situation where maybe they can bring it. But to be fair, Tempo, we've seen a lot of Cobble from them, and it's looked very impressive. So like you had highlighted, the only real situation where I see TSM doing really well is if, again, they've had Valens and they've been watching all this tape of Cobble being played this entire event from the Tempo side and the Optic match like you had stated as well. So there is a lot to be said about that.
One of the things also to note is that the fact that the very first match of this tournament was actually Tempo Storm versus TSM on Cobblestone.
Yep.
And TSM got bodied out of that match. I mean, bodied hard. It was like 16-4 or 16-6, something like that. So, well, that's about as much knowledge as we have on the subject. But we've got a couple of experts downstairs, and they're looking relatively good today. Puckett, what do you got to say about that?
Not a whole lot.
Relatively.
We're feeling relatively attractive today. Guys, you said Bolt's the player to watch. He had a rough day last night against Optic Gaming. Today he comes in, goes positive 17, leads all players in the lobby, as well as making some strong in-game leader calls. But this was all Tempo from the very beginning. Let's talk about the first half to start things off. What did you see from Tempo on their CT side?
Well, you can just tell that they came into this, and you saw in the pregame when we were just talking about the teams, you saw Lucas either have a migraine or he was praying. Like, these guys live for CS. Yeah. They love it, and they came out and they knew they got completely trashed the day before, and they needed to prove everyone wrong and be like, listen, that was a fluke. So they came out here today, and they were just running up middle with a Mac 10 or whatever gun it was, MP7, just running up, just completely disrespecting them, and just like, you know what, we're here, we're gonna run over you. And they showed that exactly from front to back, and it was just absolutely dominating. And I have to give it to Tempo because they won this from last night. I could not find them in the hotel. They were probably in a room preparing. You know, they're serious about it. They're talking. They're working everything out through. Mm-hmm. They came here early. You saw Phelps DMing for a while there. They came here prepared. And on the flip side, I have TSM, who I see in the hotel down the lobby around like 12 o'clock, 12:30 at night, just chilling, having a good time. And when I see that, I'm like, you don't want this as much, because while your enemy is preparing, you're chilling downstairs in the lobby when you should be preparing, when you have young guys on the team that you're trying to set an example for.
You're already celebrating a top three, but not focused on getting to that top two.
Like, you have young guys to set an example for, and that's a terrible way of doing it. And then they show up late today, when the guys are here, and then maybe an hour later they show up. That's not the way of doing things, and Tempo's just going to run over them.
James, you were pretty critical about some of the setups we saw out of TSM, especially on their T-half. So let's take a look here at round number 9. You were just kind of really frustrated with what was happening over on the catwalk.
So what you're going to see is immediately they know that Tempo Storm is on catwalk. They're like, okay, they're on catwalk. FNS should be calling that. He's like, okay, I'm going to clear mid. I'm going to walk through this. So what type of if you're doing a mid-game strategy, which they're doing a default, which is basically a mid-game, Phelps is waiting, they throw a smoke. Guess what? Right after that, they throw another smoke. You watch the entire terrorist team. This is where they're trying to get their momentum back. Major gun round. They're all sitting here. There's just no plan. Like, if FNS was the caller of CLG, what is he calling right now? He's dropping the bomb. He's sitting here waiting. They're talking. These decisions, once you have to have, if you've ever seen the way LG or Fallen play, they have a decision tree that whenever they find out what is happening mid-game, they instantly move into the next phase of their plan instead of sitting here for almost 40 seconds. So what happens? They all sit here, okay, let's go now, guys. They come up on catwalk. Oh, wait, Phelps fell back from catwalk. He's not there anymore. What are you going to do? I don't know. We don't have a decision tree. We don't know what we're doing.
Time's ticking.
Yeah, and 30 seconds left. No, there's no upper B pressure. There's no long pressure. It telegraphs where you're going, and they get punished for it.
Solid performance from Tempo from top to bottom. We have some highlights from their gameplay, and while TSM struggled, it looked like the shots were pure from this TS squad. How dangerous are they? Are they back in the form that you've seen from them in the previous month, where they're going final after final after final, Garrett?
Yeah, like individually, they make excellent decisions, and that's where their strength really lies. You saw Phelps on their city side do it several times where TSM's doing a default, slow default, and then they move into executing a strat, and then Phelps with the timing just completely pushes his spot and catches everyone off guard with a flank when no one's looking. And it's plays like that where he's doing info gathering and he's finding out where they are at the right time when TSM's taking too long to execute a strategy. So Tempo does a great job of that with all the individuals make plays at any given time, especially when they're down men. The only way you can punish that is by getting the entry and getting the man advantage, and then knowing that Tempo will always push into you after that, because that's one of the things they consistently do all the time. But the only problem was TSM just couldn't get an entry.
Last mistake I think we wanted to touch on was the second half. You lose your pistol round, and in round 2, you didn't see the force buy, which is what TSM has done all weekend. The one moment when you guys said, you need to do it right now.
This is the time.
Yeah.
They didn't, and they were basically waiting for round 14 to try and get back in it, or when their opponent had 14
I understand the strategy about buying third. I do. I think I only have a problem with that because it's TSM, and they do it every other time.
Okay.
And this time they didn't do it, so they were maybe trying to be creative and buy third. I just didn't like that decision making.
I've always liked to talk about when it comes to second round buys. Like when you're up, if you win a first half 11-4, 10-5, second round buys, if you lose the next pistol round, not really worth it. unless, like, again, you're severely the underdog and you need to make a play. But this one, they were down so much. It was 12-3, I believe, and they lost pistol round. If you, like, don't buy that second round and try to turn things around, you're giving them that free round, basically. And then if you don't buy third, let's say they don't buy third, then your first gun round that you can actually try to come back from, the score is already 14-4.
Yeah.
You need to go on a, like, what, 11-0 run. That's not going to happen. So you need to take the risk and go for it rather than sitting back on the only time they've ever decided to sit back when they actually need to go forward.
So I got something fun. Right after they finished their match, Tempo Storm, their in-game leader walked past us with a huge smile on his face. And you said, yeah, Bolts, you said he was plus 17?
Yep.
So, yeah.
27 kills, 10 deaths.
He made
That-
perfect.
That was a plus 17 smile as he walked by. He winked at me actually too.
He's
so.
like, that's for you, GB James. I'm back, baby. All right, game one is in the books. Tempo Storm is now on match point. They get their map next as we head to Cobble before the commercial break. Guys, got to get our predictions in here, boys. Where are we going? Is you called the 2-0. How bad is it going to be here in game two?
It's going to be bad. I don't know what side who starts on. If we can get that, would be great. But TSM, the way they play their the Cobble city sides, they play 2 back, and I need to see if they want any chance of winning this. They need to play. They need to play up front and close on Broken Wall, and they're actually starting CT, so they need to play close on Broken Wall at B and contest them. If they play back like they did against the other 2 teams they played, which was actually Tempo Storm already, they lost badly by playing back, and then they played Optic. They played back, and they got destroyed. Time to switch it up, play aggressive on the wall, and that's the best chance you have of winning CT side.
We saw Optic beat Tempo on this map last night, right, Jim?
Yeah.
So how does TSM replicate it?
They do what the Brazilians do, and they play together, and they play fierce. They pop flash for each other. They stay active. What Garrett's talking about before is TSM sat back and was complacent and let the team come to them. And that B bomb site does not really afford those type of crossfires. The way that it's set up, you need to constantly be using your utility on the platform and managing map control. So like you can't just let them out and have gunfights and then expect to just it doesn't work. You get pinch from drop, you get pinch from plat. You have to assert dominance on one part of the map so that you can focus on that and delay the other.
I kind of touched on it before the match even began. It was TSM in the back room, not talking about Dust 2, which they knew they were going to pick. Instead, they were focusing on Cobble. They knew this is going to be a crucial match. We'll see. Can they tie up the score, or is it going to be a TSM versus Optic Gaming rematch in the grand final? We'll be right back.